My son's psychiatrist said when her patient shot himself, where'd he get a gun? No, looking introspectively, where'd he get the will? So it's just somebody else's fault. It's never the medications that I prescribed.
Oh my gosh.
Or like it was an everyday occurrence, and I was just sitting there flabbergasted and thinking to myself when she said, when she was finally, it said that he was okay to come off all his medications, and with his Seroquel, she said, wow, I am just so glad to see that he can still imagine and play, because so many children who are on this medication for any length of time lose that ability to play anymore. And I was just shocked and thought, how do you sleep at night? Right. I can't imagine taking somebody's creative ability from them. What could possibly be worse than making somebody into someone who they're permanently
like a zombie?
Yes, they're a permanent zombie. What could be worse than that? Tell me a disease that you would rather have than that. If a child commits suicide so often, it's just we didn't get to them soon enough. That's what it is. We didn't get to them soon enough. Because that takes the blame off of them completely. Or like children in foster care are 3 times more likely to be on a psychiatric medication than other children who were on Medicaid. The foster parents don't know. They don't know. When you go into the foster classes, they're told that medication is the answer. When your child is having these issues, get them in. Get them in. Those are the exact words. Get them in fast so that you can get their medication adjusted. And then the issues continue, or the child just kind of goes numb.
Or the children die. Like
or the children die.
In Florida.
When I got my little boy, he was on 8 50-milligram pills a day of Seroquel, the antipsychotic, which for a child under 50 pounds is really incredible. That was on top of his ADHD medication. He was so drugged and so violent, I was actually afraid of him, and we would hide our knives at night, our kitchen knives. When we'd go to bed as a family, because we were afraid that he would get up in the night and harm someone. He became so bad that he actually, in one of his foster homes, slaughtered their family pets with a kitchen knife.
Oh,
the foster mother came home, and she sees this, and she thought a burglar had gotten into the house. She was just distraught. Oh my gosh, who could have done this? It never even crossed her mind that the preschooler did it. And she figured it out, that it was him. He had gotten so violent on these medications that he had killed her little family pets. It was decided that he should go to the state hospital, and I left there, and I decided that I would try him. They said I had 2 weeks to turn him around, and then the state hospital was still there if I couldn't do anything. And so I brought him into my home, and the first thing we did is tons of nutrition. Food in its most natural form, tons of raw food, tons of whole grains. That's what we did. Lots of real nutrition. And then we started taking him off of his medications. And he turned around so much that I became known in the caseworker's office as the miracle worker. He just made such a turnaround, and today he's just incredible. He skipped a grade, and he's still tops out, nationally, tests out so high, and even the grade that he's in. Plays a couple instruments. He's fabulous at school. This is an exceptional child.
He's not showing violence toward his sister or your family pets?
Oh, no. He's very sweet with all of our pets. We have 5 dogs, 3 cats, and he's wonderful. And it's just incredible to me how many children out there are in his exact shoes. And we'll never
There aren't enough people like you to care.
And the doctor can just blame it on trauma.
I was truly horrified at the extent of psychiatric drugging that is forced on children who don't even have a parent to protect them. No one knows this better than foster child counselor Sonia Mohammed, who works with the County of Los Angeles, dealing every day with children diagnosed and forced to take psychiatric drugs.
My personal experience has been that these drugs are very, very dangerous. We don't see any evidence of them doing or accomplishing the things that the parents are being told that they're supposed to accomplish. And unfortunately, there are many stories like yours, which is so unfortunate. My heart is with you and your family that you had to experience this, because no one is really listening to any type of alternative conversation regarding this.
It seems that foster children are much more likely to be medicated than, say, other children. Why is that?
Several reasons. The main reason being is we don't have time to deal with you. That's my take on it. So what we'll do is shut you up and we'll shut you down. That's basically it. Most of the kids that are placed by the Department of Children and Family Services, they're there because they were removed from their homes because of abuse, whether it be emotional abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, a combination thereof. It doesn't seem to occur to the system that this kid is scared. This kid, if they're a victim already of abuse or of some form, that they already are traumatized. And so many of the kids are immediately, in some cases, referred to the local psychologist and diagnosed with something. And then as a consequence, then the drugs are recommended. What I have mentioned to some people before is that I have been in homes where I saw the kids' files piled up in a worker's arms, the files taken to the local psychiatrist. The psychiatrist write a diagnosis, write prescriptions, and they've never even seen the child.
Based on what they've read in a file?
Based on absolutely nothing, because there was nothing but the manager's or whomever case worker's word that this kid is acting out. So we don't even really sometimes have anything in writing other than they're not cooperating with the program, they're crying too much at night, they refuse to go to school in the morning, and that sort of thing. Just verbal information, not even any notes that the psychiatrist can actually follow.
What type of diagnosis are they giving? Are they calling them ADHD?
Well, always ADHD. Everybody is ADHD. That's the beginning one. And then bipolar, and then manic depressive. For foster kids, it's disastrous because many of them, they're bouncing from home to home, school to school, and they're not learning. And so, of course, they're learning disordered, and all of them are emotionally disturbed, and all of them are ADHD. And I would probably say in Los Angeles County alone, we have probably about 50,000 kids in the system. And I would be willing to
say... In the foster care system?
Yes, in Los Angeles County alone. We're not talking Orange County, any of the counties up north.
What percentage of those do you think are on drugs?
I would be willing to say from experience well over, somewhere between 50% and 75%.
It's astounding. Thank you so much for everything.
People have I cured? Well, there are no real cures right now in psychiatry.
I have cured none of my patients.
We're always challenged by our lack of knowledge.
I mean, in fact, we don't know what the causes of mental illness are.
Most mental illnesses, we do not know the cause.
Of course, it would be nice to know exact reasons.
We don't know if I give you a medication, if it is going to work or not.
To a certain degree, it's trial and error.
You never know if it's the right drug.
I'm the Director of Research at the American Psychiatric Association. We don't know the etiology of really any of the mental disorders at the present time.
If you can convince somebody that they've got a medical or biological problem, that the only thing that solves it is a pill, stands to reason you're going to sell more pills.
If I can't get along with my husband, take a drug. If I'm feeling a little depressed, take a drug. We've become a fast food, fast drug society.
I don't know that there was ever a time in the history of the world where people have been drugged to the extent of what we're seeing today.
The whole pitch appears to be to sell, market, and sell and market.
My job and my pay was based solely on my ability to push drugs through my territory.
We always did a full frontal assault. So we always came in, our product's the best. Are you going to write it? Are you going to write it? You're going to write scripts?
The bottom line for you was it was a business and you had to get as many prescriptions as you needed. And you did it however you could.
When a patient goes into a psychiatrist's office, probably 98-99% of people are going to receive a medication.
The psychiatric community is completely responsible for the widespread use of psychotropic drugs.
They don't need to report all their data. They don't need to report all the trials that they do. They only need to report the ones that they want.
They didn't disclose that the researchers, almost every single one of them, had financial relationships with the pharmaceutical companies.
Essentially, the study did not really show Paxil was effective in treating adolescent depression, which is not something we want to publicize.
I was told that drug companies write checks to politicians on both sides of the aisle. Back off. You will not expand this investigation into the drug companies.
The psych meds didn't help me at all. They made matters, I'd say, probably like 10 times worse for me.
Didn't want to live. I didn't have the desire to live.
I began to experience suicidal thoughts. This is really the first time I'm saying something about it.
For the psychiatric drugs, the goal is to have as many people on them as possible.
There are certain executives in the pharmaceutical manufacturers that have stated that one day in America, every person will be on drugs, healthy or not.